Ernest Hemingway, describing his writing experience, said that the wrist just took over and the words took wing. Most of us spontaneously go into trance-like states more often than we realize. That ability to concentrate so totally on a task, whether you're a surgeon or an artist, or to be so completely absorbed in a book or a piece of music that you're oblivious to normal distractions. We do not associate this state with hypnosis because we see no hypnotist, but hypnosis is thought to be a state of heightened concentration and suggestibility, of course, but it is not sleep. It has been wrapped in so much mystery, myth, and misconception. I myself haven't even considered it so far because I think I've been afraid that I'll do something that I wouldn't ordinarily do. But I believe that it is this very quality that also enables us to overcome our pain, our anxieties, and our addictions. I'm Samara, and together in this episode, we're going to explore not the quackery, but the therapeutic value of hypnosis.
Went through the entire thing saying, but I'm not got hypnotized because I was conscious.
When you are under session, you are not under any spell as such. In fact, you are fairly clear and you are able to analyze different issues and problems in a very objective manner, just like as if you are a witness.
From the moment we're born, we begin learning through identification and association. Every moment of the day, we receive information. This comes from 4 different areas: the body, the environment, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind. The subconscious collects in its memory all experiences as positive or negative. Any situation that you have not reacted to in a manner that has left you feeling positive and satisfied is retained as a negative experience, thereby adding stress. Your subconscious wants to expel the unease that the stress is causing. If this is not allowed through voluntary methods and suppression continues, the unease will soon cause enough dis-ease to manifest in the physical body as disease. So what drew you to hypnotherapy, especially since you are a medical doctor as well?
I would say it was destined. It was divine will that I had to be drawn towards this field. It was primarily speaking my ailment. I shifted from hospital to hospital and finally they zeroed down that it is CBD stricture, common bile duct stricture, due to a big ball of pus because of some infection, maybe airborne infection which I had caught. And then procedure after procedure, I underwent a complete surgery. And then through other invasive procedures, ERCP, they put a stent. Precisely after 2.5 months, this artificial tube which was dilating my CBD also went into blockage. I discussed my cases with many people and by that time I was totally demotivated, demoralized and absolutely clueless. So the ailment plus absolute disillusionment and unanswered questions, that drove me to hypnotherapy. For the first time I realized that I was opening up and I was feeling quite fearless, quite comfortable and confident about life. Then the first session happened. It was 2 hours. It was very powerful. And when I was weaning out of the session, I was feeling very strong, very comfortable, and I could sense the pinkish complexion coming back, the color of life. And over the time, I realized that post-session, life was smooth. I could sum it up by saying that I was a happy man, despite whatever I was going through. The analysis had stopped. The Excel sheet which mind had made, do's, don'ts, what would happen, if this happens, then what, if that happens, then what, if this is the outcome, then what, all that had been erased from the mind screen, as if someone would take a duster and mop off the blackboard absolutely clean. I was physically healthier the immediate moment I came out, but I would say over the period I could every day feel health coming back to me.
Under hypnosis, you definitely feel your body becoming heavier. You feel your eyelids are not responding and you even if you say, okay, no, let me try and open it, they are kind of limp. And your breathing becomes really gentle. So there are physiological symptoms immediately that you come to know that you're under hypnosis. And we do tell the client that. So it's not like he's dead to the world and he's responding to you, so he's awake. We need his conscious mind to be awake, because otherwise he'll stop listening to the therapist.
I think that there's an obvious difference between a healthcare professional who turns to hypnosis when appropriate and a hypnotist who knows only hypnosis. It takes considerable skill and great responsibility to first make a correct diagnosis, then decide whether hypnotherapy is appropriate, and then actually carry out a treatment. Historically, hypnosis dates back to ancient Greece, where it was used as a form of therapy for anxiety and hysteria, for which it's still being used today, but it wasn't until the middle of the 18th century that it was popularized in Europe by a man named Franz Mesmer, who used hypnosis to cure his patients, but in doing so gave the subject something of a bad name because of his theatrical approach, and ever since, hypnosis has retained that image of quackery. It was only after James Braid, a 19th century surgeon who also coined the term hypnosis, used it successfully medically for some major surgeries, that an interest was rekindled amongst medical circles. In the past, hypnosis has been used as a form of entertainment, where people have been made to cluck like chickens and do all sorts of strange things, what is called stage hypnosis. And it is why people are afraid of being hypnotized, because they're afraid they'll be taken advantage of. First of all, how does that work?
They use some sort of thought transfer, and that's what we don't use in our hypnotherapy. Because what in hypnosis, that's what we use as a therapy, the client is always alert and awake. So anytime they want to wake up, they have the control.
So how does therapy take place during hypnosis?
The client mind is the most important tool here. So we as a therapist, we guide their mind to get into the root cause or whatever they have problem with. And then we use that information and feed back to their mind, form the suggestion, and sort of change their mind, their subconscious mind, to accept the new situation. Rapport is very important because the more rapport we have with the client, the more they open up to us, and we can help them more.
Now, what sort of conditions or ailments or diseases have you treated with hypnosis?
Self-improvement, self-confidence, or you can use pain management, or fear, that no one can help with the fear, or even the major disease like kidney failure, cancer, all type of disease. Because all disease is created from the mind, and hypnotherapy, we access the mind.
What do you see as the dangers in hypnosis and in hypnotherapy?
I don't see any danger in hypnosis or hypnotherapy. In hypnotherapy, because the person's mind will protect themselves, and it's always alert, and their conscious mind is awake. So then they see the harm coming to them, they wake up. So there's no way. Just like when they're under hypnosis, if the fire alarms turn on, they just run.
What is the future of hypnosis? Do you see it as complementing orthodox medicine?
I see the hypnotherapist as the therapy in the present and in the future.
As the primary therapy?
Primary therapy. Because now we are coming to the age that we only can be healed with the mind, through our mind.
What was it that drew you to hypnotherapy?
Well, it started off with an ailment that one had, which was about 8 years ago, which is called ulcerative colitis, and which is a family of the IBD diseases, so as to say. And it wasn't just getting cured. I mean, I'd go into remission, and then it'll be back again. And the doctor had tried out fairly strong medicines, including steroids. And then after a few years, he suggested some alternative therapies. I was referred to Dr. Aarti Khosla. He suggested that we try out a session in the hypnosis and explain to me the theory of the mind, about how the subconscious and the conscious mind sort of work. I thought it would be quite appropriate to take a session. There were a little bit of concerns because we are mostly sort of hear about stage hypnosis and how things can...
People sweat like chickens, etc.
Exactly. And it sort of brought back a lot of energy back into the system, because the disease itself is quite debilitating. And over time, you start becoming sluggish, you're not the same person that you are, you tend to become a little grouchy. And so that was not something that I liked about myself at that stage. So this sort of, helped you look at things a little differently. And when you start looking at things differently, I mean, a whole new world opens up.
And what were some of your physical symptoms?
Well, for diabetes, it would be weight loss, weight gain, loss in concentration, illness, a whole host of things. And having explored the entire gamut of options available, starting with allopathy, which is the easiest, funnily, to get, and then Ayurveda, homeopathy, which worked and works, I realized that I was not really getting anywhere beyond a point, and there was no one or no science that was giving you a perspective of what was behind the physical and mental stress that one went through.
I'm intrigued by the fact that a process that was perceived by many as a means for one person to control another is now being understood in terms of self-control and personal freedom. I'm also very taken in by the idea of the patient as the healer and the doctor or the therapist as the aid or facilitator. That each person brings with them their own remedies when they seek out help, it's something to think about. After having spoken to many people about their personal journeys and with Dr. Aarti Khosla, I now see that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis and that the hypnotherapist just moves the process along by tapping into the natural capacity of an individual to heal themselves and to achieve greater control over their minds and their bodies. I'm not intimidated by these ideas, and I think I'm quite ready for a hypnotherapy session of my own.
Just shut your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and stare at any spot that you find suitable on the ceiling. And when I tell you to, you're going to start counting down loudly from 50 in the reverse order. And when I snap my fingers, you'll go one up from 48 to 49. Then you will invert that number. So 49 will become 94. Is that understood, Samara? Great. Now.
50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 45, 54, 53, 54,
Deep sleep.
45.
Just shut your eyes and allow yourself to go deeper. And as I count you down from 5 down to 0, at 0 you will be very, very deep in your own subconscious mind, very safe, very comfortable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Deep sleep. Falling surely but slowly in a crystal clear lake, making a few ripples along the way and just gently dropping. And as I count you down from 5 down to 0, at 0 you'll be at the bottom of the lake, very deep in your own mind, very comfortable, very, very relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Deep sleep. I would like you to visualize or imagine you're standing on top of a staircase. It has 20 steps down. It is very well lit. You're going to be going down these steps. You find yourself in a corridor which is very well lit with a door at the end. And when you reach that door, let me know by nodding your head. Following my instructions, you're going to open this door. 5, put your hand on the doorknob. 4, turn the doorknob all the way. 3, push the door halfway open. 2, push the door all the way open. 1, step outside, and 0, shut the door. You now find yourself in a beautiful garden. Verbally, just describe to me, what kind of place is this?
It's my home in the mountains,
Yes.
and it's a house on one floor,
Okay.
pillars, and the garden is just outside.
Okay, so you're in that garden. I'm now going to count 3, this mist will lift. And you will find yourself in another time, a time of strength. 1, 2, 3, now. And as this mist has lifted, I want you to give me the first impressions of where do you sense you are?
Blank.
Okay. So just stay in this place. Is it dark or is it light?
It's like the white mist.
Okay, still in the white mist. Okay, let's stay in this white mist. And in a few moments I'm going to count from 0 to 5. At 5 you'll be fully awake, fully alert, feeling very good about yourself. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. How did you feel? Relaxed?
I felt very heavy, and the heaviness was making me relax. As in into the chair, deeper and deeper into the chair, and my muscles were not holding me up anymore. Instead, chair was holding me.
Yes.
And when you told me to go into the garden, I think that my thoughts, my conscious mind was sort of active, and I thought that I must think of a garden. And the first thought that popped into my head was my home in the mountains. I thought about earlier what you had said about past life, and those outside thoughts crept
Started
in.
coming.
And I was very aware of the cameras.
Yes.
But I felt, nevertheless, I felt very, very relaxed.
Yes.
When you asked me to lift the mist and go to a place of strength, I couldn't find it.
Yes.
But I didn't feel too bad that I couldn't find it, because
Yeah.
I wanted to stay
Where
in
you
that
were.
place of nothingness, in that place of complete blankness, that I don't have to be anywhere, I don't have to do anything, and I just have to be in this place. I didn't want to go anywhere.
Yes.
I didn't want to.
That's why I said you had connected to the allness.
Right. So, and the funny part is, not funny, but what happened was that when you said you've connected to the allness, I almost wanted to cry.
Yeah, you didn't want to come back.
I didn't want to come
Yes,
back.
I know.
And I felt a sort of emotion well up in me, which I'm still feeling.
Yes, yes.
And I think I just desire to be in that place more often, I guess.
Yes,
That is
yes.
my analysis. You're seeing me all emotional, but from my experience, I now understand that hypnosis is definitely not what we perceive it to be. I didn't feel like I was being hypnotized. I was, though, in a very deep state of relaxation, a state which I was also very overwhelmed by. My crew told me that I looked like I was completely out for the count, but in fact, I was very aware and I could hear even the slightest of movements, which unfortunately I couldn't block out. I came into this experience hoping to discover for myself what hypnosis is and what it is not, and how hypnotherapy may be used to enrich our lives. Most of my questions have been answered, but I have come away with a definite understanding that we may not be certain of many things and we may not have scientific proof, but there is one thing that we can be sure of, and that is the power of the mind to influence the body.